You know how every single video I tell you that I'm a writer who is currently working on multiple writing projects and we'll be yapping about them very, very, very soon? Well, today is very soon and we're about to yap. Before we go any further, hi, my name is Zarina, but all my friends call me Z. And since you are taking some time out of your day to come sit, chill, and yap with me, then I consider us friends as well, so you can call me Z too. I'm just your elderly pop that loves to yap, loves to read, escape on a fictional world, and do all of the cozy little things. I'm also a writer who is finally doubled down and locked into one good and juicy writing project that I hope will be my debut novel one of these days in the near future. If that is your vibe, if you love to do all the things, then girl, kick off your shoes and stay a while. Today's video is really just going to be a yap session because I need to yap about this project. It's been trapped in my head and the notes app on my phone, and I just got to let it out. Like, all I have pertaining to this project is the concept, the vibes of the characters and the world, and a bit of the aesthetics, some hopes and some dreams. That's it. That's it. That's all. We are literally at step zero, like the basement, floor level, ground. We are nowhere far. But like I said, I want to yap. For a while now, I've been talking about the writing projects that I have been working on, and I have been showing my journey kind of getting back into writing. I have always loved being a writer. Writing is one of my greatest hobbies and my biggest passions. And ever since I was a kid, I had a dream that I wanted to at least write and publish one book one day. Over the years since I was a child to now being an adult, I've written many short stories, started so many projects, but I've never gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna edit the hell out of this, and then I'm finna throw this out there for the girly pops to read. It's always just been me, myself, a handful of people I can trust, and the Lord reading my work. And occasionally, if I write something that I feel is a little good, which is rare the way that the ops in my mind be set up. I've entered plenty of writing competitions, won maybe a handful of them, and I've taken hours of creative writing classes. I just love writing. I love literature. I love telling stories. I love just everything surrounded in the process of creating a world in your mind and bringing it to life on the pages. But lately, the bulk of my writing has only been submitted to my professors, and I genuinely miss creative writing. I miss storytelling, and I really wanted to prioritize knocking the dust off my little childhood dream and fully becoming a writer again, and maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, becoming an author one day. The projects I've been working on, as much as I wanted them to be the debut and what really defined who I was as a writer and like my intro to the scene, I had to come to terms with the fact that they were kind of here to teach me a lesson. Like, yeah, I still want to bring them to life and I still want to publish them and I still want to see this vision that I have in my mind come to life. But low key, they were kind of just the 5 minute DQ before I got into what I'm getting into now. And it's crazy because the story that I'm working on or plan to start working on, it's not a story that I would necessarily like run to go and read, but it is one of my favorite genres when it comes to watching movies and watching TV shows. And I love a specific aspect of the story that I am very obsessed with. But when I think about it, yeah, girl, I don't read a lot of books like this. It is so crazy to think that this is the project that has stolen my heart and the one that I've just shut out everything to focus on, because the other projects I came up with, you would think from my reading taste, like I read everything, I love everything, but my main genres is me reading a boatload of paranormal fantasy and romantasy and fantasy books, darker romance and like darker themed books. You would think that that's what I would want to immediately jump into writing, but no, we are going for a more emotional, sweet, somewhat contemporary romance. That's insane. Sound the alarms. I think another thing that has been really surprising but been the best experience for me going into this new project is, before I was so obsessed with the idea of writing a series. Not only wanted to present my debut novel, but it was going to be my debut novel in my debut series. And that was stressing me out so bad because I'm such an overthinker, I'm such an over planner. And when writing that book, I can never truly focus on that book because my mind would be focused like, okay, I got to remember this. I got to make sure that 2 books, 3 books, 4 books down the line, this all makes sense. I need characters. I need to know all the characters that are going to be presented, and just my mind could never focus. So it's been such a great experience where all I have to think about is these 2 characters, a few little side characters, and this world, this book. And when it's over, baby, it's over. And if I wanted to make this into a series, I could. I really love the concept of the story, and I do love this town. And I could write more characters and more situations and stories and people into this town and into this world. But right now, it just feels good to just focus on these characters and their story. And if this is the only story that I write in this world, it's gonna be a good one, and I am happy with that. I really should have made notes so this wasn't giving random brain dumps. I don't even know where I want to start. I'm literally just yapping about the first thing that comes to my head. Girl, I haven't yet picked out a title for this book, and usually when I am writing something, I have the title, I have the project name, I have everything already, and I'm usually just saying the project name for fun. But this book has no title yet, and I don't think I'm going to come up with one until I'm in the middle of writing the story, or hell, until I'm done, because nothing has come to me yet and it really has spoken to me like, yeah, this is the title of this story. I feel like the characters are going to tell me the title of this story. So whenever they start yapping to me, then I'll yap it to you. For now, I've been calling this project Safe Haven, and it is set in this town called Cedar Point. And I have also not yet decided whether this is going to be more of a beach town or a lake town. Girl, all I've decided is that they're going to be surrounded by some water. That's it. That's all I know. This town that they live in, it's not necessarily giving big money, but it's not giving little money either. Like it's split between, there are people who are well off, and then there are people who they living. They may be Chuck E. Cheesed up, but they are living. And of course, every town gonna have a few foot draggers. They gonna have a few people that think they're bigger than the program and don't have to beat their feet like everybody else. But it is what it is. We love them too because they gonna bring the drama and the tea to the book. My idea for this town is that even though it is a fictional town, it's gonna be set in the real world. The plot of the book, they go to a lot of real world places, but I want this town to feel so real in the sense that you feel like you could actually go here. Like, I don't want it to be so crazy fictional, if that makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. I am very Pinterest obsessed when it comes to creating any of my projects, and I've already created the first of many Pinterest boards that kind of gives the vibes of my main characters in the world and the story itself. And I am so obsessed with it. But I already know, like, I need to make one for the town. I need to make one for just my FMC. I need to make one for just my MMC. And then I need to make one for their little travel itinerary. And then I also need to make another one for the sad vibes. And then I need another one for quotes. Girl, like I said, I'm Pinterest obsessed when it comes to these projects. When I am done yapping with you, I will in fact be laying my booty crack in this bed and creating a whole playlist for them, the first of many. And I will come back and yap to you about that because that always sets it off for me. That is like the cherry on top. Honestly, it's what gets me going. Once I find some songs that I feel like encapsulates the vibes of my characters, I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the ground running. And I feel like I'm finally at that point. I need to make me a playlist. After going back and forth and trying to figure out what I wanted the MMC and the FMC's names to be, I finally decided on names. My FMC, I decided that I'm going to name her Sunny Daniels because I was going back and forth on a few little quotes and scenes and stuff. And I love the idea of her growing up being called the Sunshine. And if you know, you know. I love a corny little moment and a corny little scene in a book. I eat it up. I don't care how cornball it is. I am going to eat it up. And one of the corny things that I love is when the MMC has a nickname for the FMC that he's always calling her, and she gets annoyed with it and just all of that. Like, I love it. I love it so much. And I feel like it'd be cute for him to call her like Sunny Girl or like Sunshine. So her name got to be Sunny. And then for the MMC, I decided that his name is going to be Jetson Wade, aka Jet for short. His whole character vibe is that he is a singer, songwriter, rock star, playboy. He's that guy. And I was just trying to figure like if I was going to like a dive bar, like a concert, like what name would like make sense. And I feel like I could see Jetson Wade or Jet on in some lights. Like I feel like it made sense to me. It made sense to me for now. We are at step 0. Anything could change. Vibes of the main characters so far are Sunny is our socialite girly pop. She is our little rich girl. And even though I said there wasn't necessarily a rich side of town, there has been an influx of high society people moving to Cedar Point, and Sunny's family has been some of those people. So she hasn't really grown up here like our MMC. He grew up in Cedar Point. She has not. She's only been here for like a couple of years. Like we're gonna say just a little bit, not too long, just a little bit, enough to get a little feel of the town, but not too long to still feel a little new. So we're gonna say like maybe she been here for like 2 years, 2 years, maybe three. I'm not sure. We're still working that out. But she is our sweet, pretty girl, shy girl. She has big dreams. Late at night, she dreams about everything that she can be. Do I know what she's going to be? Not just yet. I have yet to decide what her dreams and aspirations are because I keep going back and forth. I don't know if she wants to be a singer, if she want to be a dancer, if she want to be an artist, if she want to start a business. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be something, and I will tell you once I figure it out. But my girl has big dreams, but her family and the people in her circle, they just don't believe that she should go after that because of who she is. They all want her to find a husband. They want her to be a housewife. They want her to live up to the role that they have presented to her in this society. They want her to be like her mama. They want her hosting big events, going to fashion shows, and just being a rich girl. Girl, what you gotta go out and beat your feet for? Do you know who you are? And Sunny, she is a yes girl, so she just goes with that role, but she is deeply unsatisfied and very unhappy. Sunny's life is extremely controlled down to what she wear, what hairstyles on top of her head, and what she's eating for dinner. That has all been decided for her, and that is another reason why she kind of just goes with it, because no matter what she wants her life to be, she knows that everybody else has already decided how it's going to go. But she's just a girl, so she longs for everything that she could be, and it's really starting to take a huge horrible effect on her mental health because the way that she's living her life, even though she can't necessarily get out of this cycle and she's kind of afraid to see what happens if she pushes back, she is getting to the point where she cannot live like this anymore. Sunny is very sweet, very shy, very bubbly, and she has so much personality. But in the life that she lives, it's all images, it's all performance, and you can't be the goofy girl. But as the story goes on, we will see the goofball side of her because, girl, I'm planning to take the girlies through there a little bit emotionally, so y'all need to giggle and kick your feet at some point. Then we have Jet, who is the complete opposite. He loves to make friends. He's usually a bubbly and happy guy, and he loves to party. He loves to go out and do all of the things, but he did have a very tough upbringing. He is a very famous, popular rock star and artist. Like I really wanted to be a rock star, but then I also love the idea of him just being a singer. So that's to be decided. Like he could be it all. He could be it all. He might just have to be it all. I know for sure his backstory is like Cedar Point has this huge talent show every single year where they try to scout out these amazing talents. And he won. He was like the youngest winner ever. And it just skyrocketed. And he just has this crazy career. And he has been through a lot. That boy has some trauma on him, and you wouldn't really know how he keeps himself and how he presents himself to society. You wouldn't know that he has been through all the things that he has. And lately, once we start the story, a lot has happened and it's kind of shifted his mindset a bit, where he started to kind of act a bit different and act out and lean more into this playboy, reckless rock star role, which isn't really him. And it's brought a lot of scandals around his name, and it's changed him from being this sweet boy, rock star household name that everybody loves to being, what's going on with Jet? What he got going on? Like I said, I don't really have much, but the vibes and the overall concept of the story, the world, the characters, and all of the things, I wrote it down in my notes, and I'm gonna tell it to you so you can see the vibes that I'm cooking up over here. So here's what I have for the overall concept and kind of the bones of this story. Starting off with, I guess, just a mini version of the synopsis. So, two people meet in a mental health help group. They're clinging on to the last breaths of life, the world and their personal lives weighing them down. This trip is their last hope to revive their lust for life and to learn to live and not just exist. I really like that. I feel like I've seen multiple things with that type of concept and I've always loved it, and I really like this idea and what I'm bringing to this concept, and I feel like if I can pull it off, it's gonna eat. Then for my basic little synopsis of Sunny, I have Sunny Daniels has never been chosen unconditionally. She lives with anxiety and she's quiet, she's kind, and she believes if she keeps herself invisible, that will keep away all the pain. But her cautious, careful way of living is slowly making her fade away, with the expectations of her family to get married and forget about her dreams and to embrace the life of a kept woman. They overall want her to be just like her mother. Then for my boy Jed, I put Jetson Wade is a Grammy Award winning singer songwriter and all around rock star. He's your typical flip off the paparazzi, stay out until 5 a.m., party all night star. He was the youngest winner of the Cedar Point Music Festival. His life is the stage and the tour bus, but his drinking and partying has gotten out of control and tainted his once sweet rock star boy image. They all believe the fame has gone to his head, but in reality, they never really knew the man behind the lights. And this new him is what it looks like for a person who's always controlled their every move to slowly lose control and give up. He has spent his entire life since he was about 10 years old taking care of his mom and his siblings. His mother is an addict and she barely gets out of bed. If it's not for a man or her next fix, she's not doing it. She guilt him into supporting her and her useless new husband, and his career at one point was his only escape. Touring used to be his life, but when he sees on the news while on tour that his childhood home burned to the ground and his little brother Leo didn't make it out, he blames himself and his mother even more. And he decides to only perform locally and to move back home, but living with them slowly dims his light and drowns him in a way he feels he can never get out. He wants to be back on the road, he misses his life, and he feels he won't survive another day in this town. There's a reason that he ran from Cedar Point. I love jotting things down in my notes because it's the easiest way to get thoughts out of my head, especially when it comes to projects. But I also hate it at the same time because reading this back, I'm giving myself an aneurysm. But it's like I cannot be bothered or ask myself to be using proper punctuations and forming words together when I'm just jotting my thoughts down. Like it'll sound good and be written correctly when I put it on the page. But in my notes, girl, go to hell. I write it how I want. But trying to read this back, I'm like, damn, you do got a degree, right? You is trying to write a book, right? You ain't gonna write the book like this, right? Then this last part is kind of my concept for their romance and as well as why they get into the situation that they're going to be in. So I put Sunny and Jetson, aka Jet, meet on a mental health help site and become anonymous pen pals for years. They have bared their souls to one another, and even though they are strangers, they have become one of the only people that they can truly trust because they both know that they have huge identities. Her being the daughter of billionaire businessman Marcus Daniels, one of the most prominent people in the country, and him being one of the most famous stars in their generation and in the world. He's a household name. He's been in movies, countless shows, and his music is known by all. During the monthly group check in, the creators of the site realized that there's a large amount of people who have been stagnant in their growth, and there has been more activity on the site. In an effort to get people out of their ruts, they create 5 retreat options that fit each of the group's struggles and needs perfectly. All they have to do is fill out the questionnaire and get paired with a trip. Jet and Sunny end up taking the survey and get matched to the exact same trip, a 6 month backpack trip around the world. Multiple countries, multiple curated events, and a blank sheet for them to fill in destinations and activities to do. Each place they must make and collect memories. At first, they're both against it because one, you have to find a partner and share space with someone for 6 months. They also don't know how they will be able to participate in this without exposing themselves to their families and to the entire world world. But as things get more hectic in their homes, Sunny presents the idea that they pretend to be a couple and tell everyone that they are taking some time to travel and spend time with each other. For her, her mother has been forcing her on these horrible dates and all these events, so she ends up telling her mother that she can no longer go on these because she is already in a committed relationship and that they will be taking some time away to connect and get away from their busy lives. Jet also ends up deciding that this is a perfect idea. Not only will this protect his image, but it'll also save it too. He has been spiraling hard in the past few months into this heartbreak bad boy role, and that's really not him, and that's not the image that he wants to put out there to his people and for his brand. And he feels like a sweet little eat, pray, love trip with his girly pop that just might save him. That just might do him right. That's kind of just the basics of the story, a little jumbled up, rambly little yap. I need to kind of clean that up and make it much more clear and kind of condense it, because if I'm going to be making this into a little series and I'm be yapping about it, I can't read that all out every single time. We're going to need to shorten it up, make it cute, simple, and sweet. Right now, I've decided that I am not going to do what I usually do and try to force the process into me getting to the writing stage, because I realize that I never get to the writing stage, or even if I get there, it's never what I want it to be because I'm always like forcing myself there. I'm really just going to enjoy the ride and work on this piece by piece, stay consistent on it, and stay on my butt about getting this project up and going, but really enjoying every piece of it and every stage of bringing this whole little image to life to even get to the point of busting out those chapters. The rest of this week, my main goal is kind of working more on each of my main characters and their backstory and learning more about them. Like, I have what I believe about these characters, but I really want to sit with them and have them tell me who they are a bit more. I know that will come more when I actually get to writing, but I really just want to figure out their personality. So when it comes to writing them, I know what their voice is, I know who they are, who I want them to be. And then my other focus is the trip itself. All I said was they gonna be on a trip. I don't know where they're going. I need to really figure this out. Like, where they going? What are these events? What's the timeline? I got to get all up in that gig. I dead ass might have to sit here and Google some retreats and some eat, pray, love ass trips, because I don't know where they're going. Like, of course, I know I want them to go to Japan because I want a cute little scene with the cherry blossom trees. And I think there's somewhere else I want them to go. But other than that, I don't know. I know I want a train scene. Like, I want them all up on the Amtrak, and maybe they can hunch a little bit on there too. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. But that's all I really know. Maybe they can't just be on the train and then the cherry blossom trees. They gotta be somewhere else. There gotta be some more to this. So I really need to lock in to that. I also want to figure out like the trope list, because I know the girlies love a good trope. I love a good trope, and of course there's gonna be some tropes up in here. It's not gonna be too much, but there is gonna be a few sprinkled here and there. Like, so far we know it's gonna be fake dating. I like fake dating, and I feel like this just kind of fits with them. And I'm kind of thinking that I want it to be a she falls first, but he falls harder. I know everyone loves like the MMC, he falls first and he falls harder, but I just love the love of a woman. Like, we're always talking about men yearning and men falling in love, but okay, it's cute. I love it. I eat it up. But the love of a woman is something serious. It's something fierce. It's something juicy and good. And I just want to write about it. Like, she's not going to be no bird brain and he's not going to play in her face. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with her being the first person to fall in love. I'm still playing around with the idea of if they know who each other are. Like, I don't know that yet, because a part of me, it'd be cool if they do know that they are who they are. They just have never met. Like, they're strangers, but not strangers. But then I also like the idea of that being like a secret. Like they've been so close, they've told each other everything, but that, like, they've talked around the subject. Like maybe he said he was a musician, maybe she said she dabbled in the arts. Like I don't know. And then they meet for the first time at the airport or at the train station. I don't know. I feel like I'll like it either way, but I might be leaning more towards the first time that they ever meet each other is at the train station. That would be super cute. Like, wait, you're Marcus's daughter, and are you Jetson Wade? That would be kind of cute. But then them knowing each other, knowing who they are, also might be a little moment that they can tease each other about that. I don't know. Everything sounds good, but I gotta make a decision on one. Also, if it's a secret, I like the idea of her having like this crush on Jetson Wade and not knowing that she's been talking to Jetson Wade this entire time. Like if they've been texting or when they're on the phone and she's telling him about her favorite artist, or she reads an article, or she's scrolling online and like she's either talking shit about Jetson Wade or talking about how hot he is. That would be a moment. And then like turning around and realizing you're about to go on a 6-month trip with Jetson Wade. I kind of like that. Figure out how realistically they would navigate this without paparazzi or people being in their business. I don't know if they're going to pay people off or be in disguise. I'm genuinely not sure, because I want this to be a cute little quiet thing between them, and it's just a bunch of healing and fun. And of course they're gonna be a little rigmarole. I don't know if I want them to have a third act breakup really, or if I want it to just be a situation of circumstance that kind of pushes them away at that moment. I'm not sure. Hell, girl, I ain't sure about nothing. Damn. Like I said, I don't really have much but vibes and thoughts in my head about this story. I just wanted to yap. So I don't really know what else I want to add to this, other than I really love this idea. And I feel like there's a few movies I could watch right now just to, research purposes, because I love the whole road trip romance plot. I really love the healing trip plot. I love the stranger, like pen pal type of situation. Like I love that, and having that all together, I feel like this is going to be such a fun story, but it's me. It's me, so there has to be some emotional damage at some point. These characters and a lot of their emotions were actually created from my own. I think I said this already, but if I didn't, I'm gonna say it now. And if I did, I guess I'm repeating it. I write as a form of therapy. Writing is very freeing and healing to me. I love it. It always just brings me to a state of peace. Anytime I'm feeling any emotion, big, happy, I always just run to my journal, run to my notes app, run to my laptop. I'm going to write it down. And sometimes it's not even me writing what I'm actually feeling or what's in my head. Sometimes I translate those emotions into stories. And this is one of those stories. I feel like this in itself serves multiple purposes for me. Not only is it making one of my childhood dreams come true and it's giving me something to focus on, but it's helping me let out a lot of emotions. And I do want that to be seen through the characters, like not me. Not me, of course. I am a very anxious girly. I have dealt with depression for a very long time, and trying to find peace and passion and to give life a chance and to follow your dreams. Hell, this is me following my dreams and doing all those things. So that is kind of what I'm putting into the FMC as well as the MMC. I feel like his character will explain a different side of my emotions, because the relationship that he has with his mother is similar to, not the same, but like similar to the one that I have with my mother. And it's just, this is going to be like my little diary. So expect to shed a tear But girl, we gonna be giggling, kicking our feet. Don't worry. It's not gonna be all goddamn moments. We gonna definitely have a time. I'm not gonna lie, how I see this story and how the ideas come to me, it literally feels like a movie in my mind. And girl, maybe that's the Lord pre-manifesting and showing me, if I have some follow through, what he could do for me. We'll see. Girl, I am cramping and want to eat dinner and lay the hell down. This video is probably so much more longer than it was ever supposed to be. This is supposed to be a cool, cute little 10 minutes. This is probably a billion hours long by now. But if you watched all 11,000 hours of this video, girl, thank you so much for coming, sitting, chilling, and yapping with me. Bring that forehead in, girl, for a good old kiss, because all the girlies that are locked in with me get a forehead kiss because you deserve it. And if you stayed this long, I'm just going to assume that you want to stay. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can be locked in. And definitely tell me what you're reading, what writing project you're focusing on, or what new hobby you picked up, girl, or let's just yap. Let's just yap in the comments. Say a little something, something. I want to yap with you. Okay, girl, I need to fire up the heating pad. These cramps is fighting back. I will call you back later.